What is going on, guys? Thank you so much for coming back to Cobra TV, and we are going to be talking about a lot of stuff tonight. We're going to be breaking down some of my favorite things that were said during Sean Murray's speech at the GDC, and we're also going to be talking about the low-key announcement that Hello Games is in fact working on a new game, and it's not Last Campfire. It is a new game, and I can't wait to get to that and speculate. Probably going to be one of the most hardest games ever to cover because they're going to be tight-lipped on it. I can guarantee you that. Let's go ahead and play the intro, and we'll be right back. This is an intro that was it's a Cobra TV song. It's just a clip from it that was made for us by Rum and Apples, who is a rapper, and he sings about gaming stuff and what makes him upset in gaming. So his link will be down below, but a very, very close friend of the show. But here's the intro with his contribution. Thank you so much, Rum and Apples, to Cobra TV, his Cobra TV song. And we'll be right back after this.
Sky high, did I hit a no-fly zone? It's just a bag of weed to me, I'm trying to get home. Oh no, when a Cobra swing on through. So come on and sing the song and the hook goes. Computer, you do please, the liquid crystal television, over clicking the Cobra TV on the HD. My ship is Rusty Burkle's BMW, wrapped around and fastened down. Look at my wooden wings and plastic panels. I'm looking for my homie, but I don't even know if he know I'm looking for him. Foraging oranges and purple forests. No toe in the radio, take a photo and see your tornado unfold before you rip it your torso. Open black holes, I want in one hole.
Always, thank you guys for coming out to the Friday show, and we are going to be talking about quite a bit of things tonight. Let's see who is in chat at the moment. We've got, wow, quite a bit. Let's see, Peaceful Gamer, what is up, buddy? We also have Space Buddha. Hi, how you doing? Remedy K, Michael Anthony, Michael the Coffee Drinker. That's pretty cool. Like the name. I'm a coffee drinker myself. We got Stuart Ellis. Big shout out to Sword. How you doing, bud? Andrew Jackson. Captain Monday Baker. What is going on, buddy? Wrong button. I love that song. It's my favorite song. Cuz Walt. Stuart Yar. What's up, dude? How you doing? We got... I can't pronounce that. How you doing, man? Spell check is in the house. Truth Slave. What is going on, bud? We are here, says Captain Monday Baker. All right, let's get this music here turned down just a little bit. We'll leave it up just a smidget. Just a smidget. Guys, GDC talk, Hello Games. Sean Murray talked at the GDC and was probably one of my most favorite appearances of Sean Murray. And wasn't it good to see Sean Murray again? It's been such a long time since we've seen that guy and seen his charisma, his awkward, social, dude, you guys, if I was standing in front of you guys, there'd be no way. No way. We have nothing on the screen. Hang on a second. We have nothing on the screen. We are going to go to here. I want to give a big shout out to all the Patreon supporters, to people who hit that join button on the channel, everyone who donates to the stream. Thank you so much. I want to thank all the people who come out to the show real quick and just chat in the comments in the live chat. People who drop likes on the videos and things like that. Thank you so much to everybody. You are the best subscribers any YouTuber has. And what a great community. And Sean Murray thinks so too. And I can tell you from the GDC talk that we had, you are the reason why they kept going. You're the reason why. Not me. You guys playing the game, sharing your stuff on Twitter, sharing your stuff on the Reddit, calling into this show. Sean Murray says he's pretty much seen everything. We talked about it. He's seen it. He said that everything was going to his phone and he used it as data. So I can guarantee you 100%, Sean Murray has more than likely heard you guys giving your ideas on this very show. So, he has seen your support everywhere. All of them, everybody at Hello Games has. And you're the reason why they kept going. So, I think the music's a little bit too loud still, so let's go ahead and turn that down to about a 4. So, I want to say that something happened on Twitter earlier today. And, we're going to talk about a few things. We're going to listen to some clips from the GDC talk. And we're going to listen to some clips and talk a little bit about why those are my favorite clips. Why did I choose those? We're going to talk about Hello Games' announcement, their low-key announcement of a new game that they're working on. And he's really loving it. And then we're going to read some, we're going to take some callers and read through some comments that everybody commented on one of our previous videos. But most importantly, I want you guys to call into the show tonight. So you can find the Discord link down below. And just wait in the Atlas room. Atlas 102.5 FM room. It's a voice room over to the left-hand side. And then I will pull you into the SUBCAST room, get you on the show so that way you can talk about what's important to you. Because the SUBCAST, guys, the SUBCAST is for you. That's the reason why I made it. So that way you guys can have a chance to have a voice instead of being just words in a comment section. So this is a platform for you to speak. And even if you want to speak out about the game. I invited somebody on the show tonight who was... It's one of those people from 3 years ago. One of those people from 3 years ago still going on with the lies. And I got into it a little bit, and then I stopped. I apologized to him, and I said, look, we're both heated. If you want to come on the show and talk about this, I won't censor it. If you're that upset, come on, say your thing, and I'm going to say my thing, right? But he blocked me. After I apologized, so I don't think he's coming on tonight. But it's kind of funny, and his comment was when Sean Murray was talking about the toxic behavior, his response was, to me, was he said, hey, Sean, responding to your lies isn't toxic or something like that. Peaceful Gamer, yeah, he's there. He was there. He was like, I took over. Oh, what a great time that was. I was at the Waffle House with the wife and my daughter, and my phone was going, the notifications were going off like crazy, and every time it went off, I laughed, sitting there trying to eat my waffle and my hash browns. It was, I can't remember his name, Dreamer? Some guy named Dreamer? I think he blocked everybody in the world. So even if you weren't part of the conversation, the guy probably just went through a Twitter feed of just random people and started blocking. I think he blocked everybody. If you don't have a Twitter account, I think he blocked you. But anyways, he might show up. I don't know. Jordan. But the reason why I brought it up is because Sean Murray brought it up, and I want to kind of, just play a couple clips for you guys here about the toxic behavior that Sean Murray was talking about. And no, it wasn't people calling him out on his lies. So we've got some stuff here queued up. We're going to be talking about his comment with his statement saying that No Man's Sky is the biggest selling IP of all time. Then we're going to talk about his statement where he's talking about toxicity. And then he talks a little bit about that No Man's Sky has become the benchmark for a comeback, and that is an understatement. Then the people complaining but not owning the game, or playing the game and still complaining. And then he talks about you guys, the constructive feedback. People that were playing the game and were mad about certain things was very useful, and he used it as data. Then we're going to move on to a clip where he talks about innovation, which is a very big thing that I usually push on Twitter about ambition and things like that. And then we're going to talk about his announcement of a new game and things. But we're going to go ahead and talk about, or play clip number 1, where he talks about it's the No Man's Sky became one of the biggest selling IPs of all time. One of, not the. But let's go ahead and play that clip now if I can get my act together. All right, so I think this is clip number 1. Let's go ahead and play it.
No Man's Sky, when it released, and also still 2 years later, has sold incredibly well. It's gone on to be one of the biggest selling new IPs of all time.
And it was. I mean, it was very controversial when it released, but it sold like crazy. And sold on PS4, PC, and then 2 years later went on to the Xbox and some gaming platform like Steam in China called Tencent. I can't remember what they are. Tencent Wii Game or I don't know I can't remember what they are. Tencent Games or something. And it still continues to sell. And even when they make these updates, they create a lot of hype surrounding No Man's Sky, or we create the hype, or people get excited, and you got more people purchasing the game. It's just it's a very polarizing topic. But I want to go to the toxic statement that he was talking about, and Dreamer from Twitter, I don't feel like gave the appropriate response to Sean Murray's reasoning for it. Let me get this music turned down a little bit more. Okay, so here is the toxic statement from Sean Murray.
We faced some really difficult challenges. Everything that you can imagine from like the worst of the internet, we hit. Regular intervention from police and Scotland Yard and things like that. And I don't really want to talk about that side of things because I think that kind of toxicity and those toxic individuals already control too much of the narrative around games.
And they do. They do control the. When games come out, we could tell which ones are blatant lies, or if gamers just I don't know whether it be from pushing a product out too fast because you announced a release date and you don't want the blowback from delaying it, or maybe you can't delay it, but you don't hit that mark. The behavior now is to attack rather than listen. And then I always tell people, you're not going to be upset with a game if you wait, watch, buy. I don't pre-order games anymore, even if it's from a developer I trust. Wait, watch, buy. If we do that, we could change the gaming industry 100%. Wait, watch, buy. That way people won't be able to complain on the internet and get your floppy pitchforks. And now some of it is needed. Some of it is exactly what the industry needs when we have things like just unethical business practices from some of the AAA companies. And you guys know what I'm talking about, and I'm not going to get into that conversation here on this subcast, but you know what I'm talking about. But, you have Hello Games who has came out with a product who stated in 2014 that not all the things were going to be possible when the game shipped, but he had a feeling they're going to be working on it a long after it launches. Now, to Dreamer's point, yeah, I'll give you that. They should have reiterated that a lot more. But since that was said, anything after that's said is kind of like covered under, hey, we warned you it wasn't going to be done. Okay? But, so, I don't know. So those that kind of behavior doesn't help the community at all. Not pre-ordering helps. Not buying on day one helps. Waiting. Seeing if the game is going to live up to what it's supposed to live up to. That's what helps. And then purchasing it once you realize it's something that you want. And then what a lot of us seen, and we're not going to stick on this very long. I just wanted to point out some of the things that he did say in his speech. But people, we've all seen the people who complained about the game and they didn't even own it. They didn't play it. They were just jumping on the echo chamber that was going on everywhere. But here's a clip of him talking about that.
Because now we find ourselves mentioned as that benchmark for coming back. Doing a No Man's Sky is now a positive thing, right? 2 years out from launch, like I was saying, we're selling kind of numbers that I think most AAA games would be really proud of for their launch.
He means jealous.
But more importantly, we have a very positive, probably one of the most positive communities of any game that is launched.
And that is very true. He meant that you know the AAA companies would be very not proud, jealous of their success with the amount of team members that went into. Oops, we are getting a message over there on Facebook. The amount of team members that went into creating this game, the success that it's had, the comeback that it's had, because I've never seen a game just get pitchforked so badly that came back so great. I mean, just what a comeback story. And then it's still selling even today. Even when they talk about new updates, people go out and get it. You know, you guys go to work and school and you tell everybody, hey, you ever play No Man's Sky? Oh, that game that was a failure when it came out? No. People don't look back. But because of you guys talking and because of you guys sharing things on Twitter and Reddit and things like that, it does come back, right? You do help get more people to pay attention to this amazing game. Again, it comes down to you guys. You guys, and Sean Murray says it, you guys are the best community any game has. And that is not a false statement. It is a very true statement. So what do we got next? What's the next clip we got here? We've got, let's check the notes. Constructive feedback. This was people who did like the game, loved the game, but there were problems with it. And we all don't ignore the fact that there were problems, and this is where you guys also come into play as a great community and help to build the game that we have today. And here's a clip for that.
For instance, we learned that the most toxic commentary, about 80 to 90% of it was coming from people who weren't really invested in the game. They were talking online about topics that are very common and very recognizable and most games become a lightning rod for, like pre-orders or marketing or whatever. They aren't providing good data to you as a developer.
So again, there you go. You know, it's people that put in their criticism about things that just weren't right, and we all know what those things, some of those things were. And then there's a statement that he made about innovation, and I usually, just from time to time again, I will always I'll tend to tweet something like, stop when a game developer is trying to be ambitious. Don't tell them, oh, it can't be done. Oh, you're going to fail. Or don't, there's so much toxicity whenever a developer tries to do something that's ambitious or innovative, because they always bring up No Man's Sky. When somebody says, hey, I'm going to create this huge thing, and people are like, oh yeah, another Sean Murray or another Peter Molyneux. These people, even if they fail, push the gaming industry forward. They do. They push it forward. Maybe they don't get it. Somebody else is going to pick up the torch and say, I bet you I can do that. And then they're going to do that. Because if we don't have ambition and we don't have innovation, all we're going to get is carbon copy battle royales or what have you. It's just going to be reskinned games with different trademarks. And I'm right. Because a lot of these big AAA companies are spending a lot of money on these games, and I even quoted one of the presidents or CEOs or whatever a long time ago. I can't remember what company it was. Maybe EA said that they won't even try something that they know that they can't franchise. That only things that they know that they can franchise are the things that they go after. So innovation, ambition, while it might be there in some small shade, it's not there like it was with Hello Games or like it was with Identity, which Identity needs a lot of work, but those guys are trying to be ambitious. So there you have that. So here's the clip where he talks about innovation.
The second most negative cohort of
Wait.
of players.
Boy, did I mess up.
The second most
I got my
negative...
clips mixed up. Okay, so, wait, let me check the chat. People are probably going ham on me right now. So yeah, I did mess that up a little bit, didn't I? Okay, so, this is the clip where you guys came into play.
The second most negative cohort of players was actually people who had played the game for about 100 hours in the first week. And their feedback was actually incredibly useful. Suddenly, from this overwhelming noise of millions of hot takes, we discovered some ground truth, some real incredibly clear signals, like 37% of people were stopping playing or frustrated in playing just because they didn't like the inventory system. And then suddenly you're like, that I can fix. I can sit down at my computer and I can fix that. Not just that, I agree with you. And now we know what we're doing. We're back making games for people who want to play them.
All right, so I apologize for that. I had the wrong clip before. So that's where you guys had come in. But I definitely want to get to the innovation statement, which should be up next. Wrong button. That's what I'm going to claim. This might be the innovation statement.
Innovation is in such short supply in the industry. And we need it so badly. We need to encourage it. We need to foster it. We need to ask people to shoot for the moon. And if they fail on their first attempt, we need to be there to support them. We focus far too much as an industry on week one sales and so little on long-term impact.
And I wanted to play that clip just because that clip is so powerful. It couldn't be further from the truth. We need ambition, innovation. We need game developers. We need some of them to fail. We need some of them to try something so difficult, but they might fail. Somebody else will pick it up and do it better, and then somebody else might pick it up from them and do it better. But we need to stop reskinning games and releasing them as like these big blockbuster live action trailer games. What in the world's going on here? But that's the innovation statement. That is probably my second favorite thing that he said. And we're going to get into the biggest, my most favorite thing that he said coming up right now. But before I play that, I'm going to play him talking about the chart that he made, which is very important to set up for my favorite thing that he said. So we're going to go ahead. I got a picture of the chart. Let me put the picture on the screen. Let's see. Don't do a wrong button. Where's the picture? Here's the picture. All right. We did it right. Thank you. Right button. So here's a graph. He said he likes to put everything in graphs and look at everything as data. And this is what he's talking about, where he's describing, making a game. Like the high points, the concept, where everybody's got these ideas and everybody's like, yeah, let's do it. Let's do this. And then pre-production starts to, they're getting into it. Okay, it goes up, and then production starts to go down because the stress starts happening, and then release they get to the release, and then they release something, and then they're starting to get scared that it might fail, blah, 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 right? Let's go ahead and hear Sean Murray say it because he says it way better than me.
Concept is fun, it's amazing, and it's followed by a more difficult pre-production where you start thinking about, okay, was that concept such a good idea? And then you kind of climb out of that just in time for production when you realize that everything that you did in pre-production was a terrible idea. And things are way tougher, and then you just think, just focus, we'll get this game out, and when this game out is, it'll be amazing, and won't that be an incredible moment? And actually, for the reality is, it's kind of taboo, but for the majority of developers, it's a real low point.
And here it comes, the statement of all statements at the GDC. Some people caught on to this, but a lot of people didn't, because it was said so low key that it just got missed. But here is where Sean Murray announces that they are working on a new game, and this is not The Last Campfire, because whatever this game is in concept or pre-production. And here is Sean Murray announcing that they are working on something new. And Last Campfire is made by 2 people in the studio. This is something beyond Last Campfire. Here it goes.
We've started something new now, and I'm loving it. I'm in that high part of the grasp, right? But I know that games and making games is never easy. So if we're going to do it, then let's not do it for anything that doesn't make an impact, that can't really change things or push the boundaries. Let's make sure it's insanely ambitious. And let's make sure that we savor the journey every single step of the way.
Let's listen to that one more time. Remember, he said they're now in the high part of the graph. They're working on something new, and he loves it. We got donation from... I can't see it because the picture's up. Sword, thank you so much for the donation, buddy. Thank you, man. I do appreciate that. Let's listen to that one more time. Did you hear that, Sword? Let's listen to that one more time.
We've started something new now.
We started something new now.
And I'm loving it.
And he's loving it.
I'm in that high part of the graph, right?
He's in that high part of the graph right now. Take a look at that graph, the high part, concept, or pre-production. Okay? A new game being developed by Hello Games. Now let's listen just a little bit further and see what else he has to say about it. Because this was said in such a vague way. A lot of people didn't catch it, but a lot of you did, though.
Right? But I know that games and making games is never easy. So if we're going to do it, then let's not do it for anything that doesn't make an impact, that can't really change things or push the boundaries. Let's make sure it's insanely ambitious.
Let's make sure it's insanely ambitious. So this isn't one of those do as I say, not as I do things. This is what, they're working on something insanely ambitious. Again.
And let's make sure that we savor the journey every single step of the way.
And that is it. A soft announcement of a new game being developed by Hello Games that they're not talking about. But there it is. They just announced that they're doing it. So we got Beyond's not a new game. It could be that he's talking about Beyond. That's a good point, Vera, but I don't think so because he said he's at the high part of the graph. And I would imagine Beyond is pretty much down in the lower part because we're going to be getting it this summer. So if we take a look at that graph, concept, pre-production, production, release, that's not the high part. So the high part would be up here. Oh, thank you so much. We got a donation from Not a Vampire 11. Thank you, buddy. I do appreciate that, man. So concept and pre-production would be the high points of that, and I don't think that's Beyond. I'm just going to go on a limb and say it's not. I can't say that it is for 100% sure. But yeah, I mean, if you guys want to come on the show tonight and talk a little bit about that, I would love to hear your thoughts on that. If you think it's about Beyond, then by all means come on and tell me all about it, guys. We got Stuart Ellis with the donation saying Sean Murray is the god of hype. Yes, he is. He is. He could hype us up by not even by purposely not telling us exactly what it is. Thank you so much, Stuart Ellis. I'm gonna jump down into the SUBCAST room and I'm gonna start pulling some people onto the show. Snow, if you want to just jump down in there with me, Snow's here hanging out.
Yo.
And we'll jump down in there and we'll get some people on. Vargul, what is up, buddy? How are you?
Hey, Cobra, how's it going, man?
It's going great. Going great. What do you think of that soft announcement of a new title they're working on? And do you think it's a new title?
I didn't hear anything about them mentioning a specific new title, just something that they were working on. Surely it's not the Last Campfire. It's got to be something else, right?
Right, and it can't be Beyond because he said they're at the high point in the graph. So that was a hint.
Right.
That was a hint that they're either in concept or pre-production.
So my speculation would lie in whether or not Sam Swain wasn't necessarily hired to work on No Man's Sky so much as maybe the project.
That's a good idea. Maybe he was. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Curtis. Maybe he was not meant for No Man's Sky at all.
Which would be a shame because he's so talented, man, and his skills could be put to such good use with No Man's Sky. I would love to see what he could contribute. You know?
Right. Sean Murray.
Light bulb blown.
Yeah, exactly. Once Sean Murray was asked, almost forcefully asked, what are you going to work on after No Man's Sky? And Sean Murray said, "Why, I don't want to stop working on No Man's Sky for one, but if I had to answer that," he goes, "I like the idea of an RPG where we take all of the procedural stuff that we have and condense it down into a large map and do a game like that."
Yeah.
So,
and I'm a huge fan of RPGs. I would love to see what Hello Games could do when it would come to something like that. But you know, and it's funny that he mentions that because if you think about it, when he announced Beyond and he added all that dialogue to his website, it talks a little bit about No Man's Sky not being an MMO, but having elements of what you would typically find in an MMO. And one of those things is that you find in any kind of given MMO is huge quest logs, like missions and stuff that you go on and do, and you accomplish these different tasks. And MMOs are very loot based, and they're also very heavy in guilds and factions. So and those are all reminiscent of a typical RPG as well. You find that in like Skyrim or some of the other major titles that are looked upon as being an RPG.
Right.
So maybe he's doing this with Beyond to kind of get his feet wet a little bit, to try to figure out, if they are going to work on an RPG later on down the road, if
yeah,
I like a little bit of.
I absolutely love having Vera in the chat. He always plays devil's advocate with some of the things that I say, and I absolutely love that. And he says Beyond is something new. He mentioned No Man's Sky being the sweet spot after all that went through, and we know Beyond is the biggest thing they have ever made. That is all true, and great comment, Vera. But it's also, he said he's at the high part of the graph. I think if they were in pre-production with Beyond, I don't think it'd be ready by summer.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, they're heading. If that's true, then wow. That I don't think Sean Murray would have announced Beyond if it was in pre-production.
Well, no, and he's always. Especially after launch, he's been very, very particular about things that he tweets or posts or says regarding this game. So I'm with you. I don't think he would announce a summer launch for Beyond if he, without a doubt in his mind, didn't think it was going to be ready.
I agree. 100% agree. Yeah, I think that where they are with Beyond right now is bug testing, getting it ready to ship this summer. I mean, just in a few months. Maybe even sooner. We don't know when exactly. I mean, I imagine it's going to be close to the anniversary. But he said high part of the graph. Concept, pre-production. So let's see what people in the chat are saying. Could we build missions and leave them in systems? From Matt Barrett. Dave Langer says Beyond is in production for sure. It's almost done. I agree, Dave. Synth Bent 715 saying... I'm sitting here thinking Cobra hasn't started streaming yet. Screen still said waiting for stream until I refreshed. Oh man, I'm sorry, Synth Ben. Raging Skywalker says hopefully Beyond doesn't get delayed. I can't think of anything, says Plo617, besides No Man's Sky 2 that would top NMS. I don't know. So
the thing, and I understand, people saying, "Oh, this is No Man's Sky 2.0, or this is No Man's Sky 2," and I can understand why they would say that, because how far the game has gone, and the fact that they're working on this massive update, which is speculated to be bigger than X. Hard to believe, but speculated for that. But the thing is that at its core, No Man's Sky is just a pure sandbox. I was watching some footage from CoCarnage, and I was even talking a little bit in chat in Discord this afternoon. The game is a sandbox, and I mean, typically when you come out with a sequel to a game, you've improved and have added way more content beyond what you've done before. Skyrim was bigger than Oblivion. Oblivion was bigger than Morrowind. So on and so forth. They enhance and they improve and they add way more content. But how do you grow a universe that you already have the freedom to play in? And I mean, with them coming out with DLC and updates and patches and all, they're already adding content to this game to grow it. So would we ever see what you would call a No Man's Sky 2? I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't think so. I do want to kind of go over to nomansky.com and take a look. There was some really special wording when it talked about the size of this update that I want to take a look at. Let's see. Let's go to news. And then we'll go to Beyond article. Go ahead and get this on the screen. Take a look at this here for a second. Let's see. So here's the thing. Next was an update. We got many the way it's worded is it's just hard. It says Beyond will be our most ambitious chapter so far. So they're not using the word update or version or anything like that. So they're calling it a chapter. You could look at that any way. I don't think... Look how big Next was compared to what we had before it. To say that this is going to be bigger than Next, which it doesn't say that. It says it will be our most ambitious chapter so far.
So what does that mean exactly? When he speaks about ambition, that tells me that they're tackling elements of the game or what they're wanting to put in the game that they've never done before, right? I mean, wouldn't that how you would read that?
True.
So I mean, if you look at it from that perspective, well, what exactly is he saying? I mean, what are they adding?
Well, it's 3 updates in one. One of them is a No Man's Sky Online, and it's I think it's going to be considerable. The No Man's Sky Online, way different than what we have now, because he had to go into saying that they don't consider it an MMO because it won't require a subscription or contain microtransactions and will be free for all existing players. So I think it's the No Man's Sky Online, the first one that we've got told to us, is going to be very significant to the online that we have now.
So can you, if you have it up, could you do me a favor and reread that section that he talks about it not being an MMO? Because I was led to believe that, yes, they're not looking at No Man's Sky as being an MMO.
Well, a lot of people pointed out to me that when he says it's not an MMO, he only refers to the financial side of it.
Okay.
Here, let me go ahead and read it to you. It says, No Man's Sky Online includes a radical new social and multiplayer experience which empowers players everywhere in the universe to meet and play together. While this brings people together like never before and has many recognizable online elements, we don't consider No Man's Sky to be an MMO. It won't require a subscription. Won't contain...
Okay, so I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt, but back
No,
up.
Go ahead.
He says elements, MMO elements. Reread that section.
It said, and has many recognizable online elements.
Elements. Okay, so it has... He's talking about the online edition to this Beyond. It has many recognizable online elements. Well, that leads us to speculate that there are going to be aspects of this launch, this DLC that's coming out, or expansion that's coming out, that you're going to recognize being in an MMO game. What those elements could be, I don't know. He's telling us that he's not charging us for it. There's no description fee. You don't have to purchase it. There's no cash shops or anything like that. It's all free, just like his all other content. But he's also telling us that there's going to be elements in this game that are very recognizable to an MMO.
Right.
So are we talking about game mechanics?
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
So if we're talking about game mechanics and we're looking at online content of an MMO, what are typically common features that you're going to find in an MMO? I truly believe that the blue orbs are going to be lifted from the game.
Oh yeah, that's 100%. I guarantee you, because that was on their roadmap.
Right. And what are some of the other features? You know, all MMOs typically have some form of an auction house, or where players can sell merchandise to other players or materials to other players. There's guild building in an MMO. There's quest logs, big giant adventures, in an MMO. I'm trying to figure out some of the commonalities behind what you would find in an MMO across the board that you might potentially see in No Man's Sky.
That's true. It's if you pay attention to the wording a little bit, especially in the beginning, I think there's going to be intergalactic travel. People who are stuck in other galaxies, who can visit other players, but you can't stay. But a lot of people are saying that the trailer that we've seen, everyone, we pointed out that looks like a portal at the end, and people are speculating, what if it's a portal to get to other galaxies to even stay or just travel between them? And the way it starts off, it says No Man's Sky Online includes a radical new social and multiplayer experience which empowers players everywhere in the universe to meet and play together.
Which I think is just awesome. And although there's been speculation, I've heard talk that there's, instead of it being 4-player groups, they're going to have 32-player lobbies. Actually, with it being, if it's a true online server, I don't think you're going to have lobbies. I think you'll just be able to see people like you typically would in an MMO.
Right.
And that's what I'm hoping for, because like I mentioned it in Discord, I think it would be awesome to collaborate or work on community base building. Would be just fun as hell.
Right. Mm-hmm. We got Ivy Mike in the comment section or live chat saying crossplay got to be like never before, and I agree. It's Vera also. Crossplay would connect players in the universe like never before. It really would. If we could play with Xbox and PC people. PC players, that would be wow. I mean, just think of we'll bring back the Galactic Thunderdome like crazy, because it wouldn't matter what platform you're on, you could fight each other.
Well, here's the thing.
Watch Ivy and Mike go down. What?
Remember the 10-cent Wii game?
Yeah.
How would they implement them?
Ooh, I don't know.
That's cross-platform. They would have to include 10-cent Wii games.
That's China. They got an internet wall up, so I don't think that would even include them or anything like that. I'm gonna get another caller on here. We've got some people waiting. I'm adding Zyger Boy. Zyger Boy, what's up? How you doing?
Hey, Go Bro, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm a little on guard because the guy Dreamer from Twitter, he said he was going to come on and I don't know, yell at me, I think.
Okay. So what's happening?
We're talking about the possibility. I think it's 100% that Hello Games low-key announced that they're working on a brand new game.
Yeah, when I was listening to your comments on that, I think what you said was right. The conceptualization of what Sean was discussing on that, they might be probably making a new game, and they don't want to reveal it much about information on that.
Oh yeah,
and they're still in the conception world.
To cover this new game that they're talking about is going to be probably the most difficult thing to ever cover, because we're probably not gonna hear a darn thing from it until it's launch day.
Exactly.
Yeah, just like they do with their updates. We get the patch notes and we finally learn about it. Yeah, it's going to be just like that.
Yes.
It's good. So, I don't know. We're going to have some. We're going to get some Cobras who's got really good Google foo or internet detectives. We're going to get some people on this.
Yes, we have to. And one thing is, this time they, as Sean has specified, that innovation is it's in demand. Like it's very less. People are not being supported in the innovation terms. So I think
Right.
his team is doing something about a new innovation kind of game that nobody has thought ever before. And maybe they are still working on that concept, and he's hinting in that they are making some kind of new game on that.
Oh, 100% agree with you on that. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Saying
Well,
that,
and there's probably a good chance that with the potential success of the new game once it launches, that will continue to feed funding to continuing the growth of No Man's Sky too.
Mm-hmm.
true.
I
mean, that's
because we were talking.
I will be right back.
Okay, buddy. We always bring up the fact all the time, like, these are free updates. How are they making money? Hello Games made a ton of money on No Man's Sky. On 4 different platforms. 10-cent Wii games, PC, Xbox, and PS4. 10-cent being like a Steam type thing. But, they made a lot of money. But having a company where you continue to just to give away things for free and not developing a product that's going to, of course they sell stuff. They sell No Man's Sky copies every time they have like big updates like this. People buy it. But that's not a good business model if you don't have something else under your belt ready to make money off of. So yeah.
Well, and if you look at Minecraft's model, right? I mean, they made free content for that game for like ever and a day. But I suspect that Notch ended up selling the title to Microsoft because they needed backing for the game to continue to grow it.
Right.
I honestly think that. And then he moved on to other ventures, other projects. So. But I'm almost sure that funds were drying up and they couldn't, because you can't sustain a game if you're a company, you can't continue to have an employee staff and not bring any kind of profit or income into your business. Money runs out, you're gonna go bankrupt. That's just reality.
Right.
But I think the worst advantage that Hello Games have right now is since they have put so much work in their game, and that the community has realized, and most people are seeing that the game has made a huge impact on the players and on the other gaming market. I think the funds is not an issue for Hello Games right now, because they are not focusing on that. They're more focusing on providing the game to the people to play, and the funds will automatically follow up with that success.
Agree. And I said a long time ago, Last Campfire, yeah, it's probably going to get them some good cheddar, right? I mean, it's a small game, but I said a long time ago, I kind of felt like it was a feeler. Like these 2 developers, they had this amazing idea, amazing game that they were working on, and it was let's announce this and see what people think. And it was like I went to the comment section, went all the way through it, and nothing but positive comments all over the place. And I think that's what finally gave them the self-esteem that they needed to, I don't know, kind of tell us that they were working on something new. And I said it at the beginning of this year. This is the year that we're gonna find out that they're working on a new game. So we did.
Oh yes. I think when I saw the first teaser of that game, I was overwhelmed, like how 2 people could make such a beautiful epic. Like it's completely very different from what they have done previously. Like if you look at Joe Danger and No Man's Sky themes, this Last Campfire theme is completely out of it's kind of a new version of sandbox. Like you are having a RPG model in that, and we can see a total new like there are some games, Ori and the Wild Forest, that kind of feeling, and it's very beautiful and vivid in colors. So I think that's going to hit a lot in the market after that.
I agree. We're gonna get one of an old friend of the show, Hooper. Thanks for coming on, buddy. How are you? Hooper. Hooper.
I was in with Hooper, and he's very quiet.
Okay.
I didn't hear him say anything.
We'll go ahead and move him back to the Atlas room for now. We'll take Joe the Anti-Pro. Joe the Anti-Pro, welcome to Cobra TV, buddy. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm going to mute your stream real quick.
Okay.
Yeah, he has his fan running, so with his noise cancellation, he's gonna be very quiet. So if he wants to speak, everyone needs to stay silent for him to say what he needs to say.
To who?
He's talking about
Joe.
me.
Joe's fan is on, and his
I
noise
just turned the fan
cancellation.
off.
Oh,
So
gotcha.
it might be a little better.
We got Panda Poopy in the chat. Panda, what's up, man? I would love to have you on the show, dude. You're a great guest to have on the show, and I would like to get your opinion on Hello Games announcing that they're working on something new at the beginning stage of the graph that we've got right here. So, concept and pre-production. Like to get your opinion on it, Panda, so come on the show, bud. Miss you. Joe, what's up, man?
Not much. I'm actually playing No Man's Sky, and trying to get to the center of Euclid because I was lazy and procrastinated. Now it's like, you know what? Got my S-Class freighter all the way upgraded with its warp drives, made 50 warp cells, and I'm just going.
Don't go
That's
in.
exciting.
Don't, the mosquitoes and moths, they all follow the light. Don't follow the light, bro.
I don't care about going to the center. I just know that's where all the people are. So if I'm going to run into any people by complete random chance, that's where I should be.
Joe, you bring up
Near.
you bring up something good. If I have any gripe about No Man's Sky, it's the fact that we could find each other too easily now. That's my gripe. I think finding explorers should be another form of exploration. Sorry.
Yeah, it kind of ruins the gameplay when we can just join and jump in co-op. They've actually made the game more casual and by removing depth from it.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I know why they did it, so that we could all play together, and so that way we could have instant satisfaction of being together. And it's like how the atmosphere isn't realistic as far as length of time that would take you to get through the atmosphere down onto the surface of the planet. It's done to make it feel like it's a Star Wars movie. It's not going to be tedious and time consuming to get through the atmosphere. Blah 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 blah. So I know it's kind of like the same thing. They wanted to make it so that way we could all play together very easily, very quickly. But again, it's just one of my gripes about it, and I wish it was explorers were just another form of exploration. I wish that I could scan you for units received.
And there's also the fact of it would be really nice is if in the galaxy there was areas of interest that you'd go travel millions of light years to go find, because if in this general place there's a well-known area, for example, a place where people gather, like a galactic hub, so people would come from light years and light years away to this one area or another area because they know it's unique.
Yeah, I agree.
So, for
100%
example, an entirely a custom asset planned out area, entire planet area, little solar system, would be a cool thing just every so often as updates, in my opinion, where they intentionally make the creatures cool on purpose, or something, maybe even adding an anomalous planet that is unique, completely unique. That's not just one you can find randomly.
I agree.
It would be really cool.
What's that, PvP King? What do you got to say there, soldier?
Alright, here's the thing. If you take, the glass planets, and you mix it with a Diplo on, the lush planets, think of how cool that would be.
What I'd love to see is, 3 or 4 systems where there is mechanical life forms. Instead of having your typical No Man's Sky creatures, they have all the it's animated just like regular No Man's Sky creatures, but they're mechanical parts.
Ooh, would love that.
Because the Sentinels have taken over the fauna on said planet.
Yep, or something like that.
I've seen Hooper said he's got things situated. Let's see if he does. Hooper, you there, buddy? Hooper. I hear him typing away. He's typing something. All right, we'll move him back to Atlas.
He's focused.
Okay, I think he is having a mic problem. He just chatted in the subcast.
Oh, okay, gotcha. We got Carrick Sapien. I wonder, let's get Carrick. Carrick, what's going on, buddy? How are you?
Oh, hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. Doing good. What brings you on the show today? You want to talk about what Beyond could possibly be, or do you want to talk about the possibility that Sean just announced we had a new game from?
Well, now that you mention it, he did seem like he was hinting at something.
Yes.
Just a little bit there.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm also super excited for Beyond. Sorry for interrupting. I apologize.
No, don't be sorry. Don't be sorry. Mr. Matthew just subscribed to the channel. Thank you so much, buddy. Yeah, what could you expect would come out of Hello Games?
I'm not thinking it's gonna be I'm not thinking it's gonna be major MMO but I think it's gonna have qualities of an MMO, and the update's going to have some traits that would give off an MMO-ish vibe, like many players in a lobby.
Right. That'd be good enough for me.
I'm kind of hoping that Hello Games adds in some more NPC depth, like them walking around, more complex and interactive. What's the word? Conversation trees, was it? I don't know the words.
Right.
I would love to see some Vakeen pirates on foot chasing.
Yes.
That would be amazing.
Yes. That's what I want. I want that. That's exactly what something. It's one of the things that's missing. I want to be in space, and all of a sudden, a couple pirates, and they're not easy to beat. Right now they're easy. I want some that are difficult.
That'll board your freighter.
Yeah, that too. And I want the fight to start in space, and all of a sudden, I'm getting beat up. I'm getting chewed up because it was one, but now there's 5. So I'm going to go down to that planet right there, and I don't lose them. They stay with me. I land on the planet. I get out of my ship. I run into a cave. They land, and they come after me.
That would be amazing. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah,
I wanted to mention something. It's ironic. I never mentioned it, but I used to dislike the Vikings because they seemed very aggressive and hostile at first.
Yeah, they're like Klingons.
Yeah, and then I all of a sudden stumbled upon Gek lore, and I was like, wait, something's not right here.
Yeah, that's right. They're the baddies. Yeah, they're the bad guys.
And then when you mentioned the Gek lore that I had never stumbled upon, because every time I find an obelisk, it goes all the same Gek lore over and over again. I never found any other Gek lore other than we are the rulers of galaxies, and that one,
Yeah. Yep.
We are the conquerors of galaxies one. The first Spawn one, but I never found any more evidence on that. I just found the Gek to be kind of cute, and then when you revealed the lore on the Gek, that's when I kind of that's when I kind of realized the Gek were kind of crazy, if you will.
All right, yeah. The Viking, as far as the lore goes, their story is my favorite. I do
the
like.
Viking are honorable. I can respect them.
Oh yeah.
They're very barbaric. They're very barbaric.
Oh yes, most definitely.
I'm not gonna lie though, but hands down, my favorite race are the Korvax.
See, that's my favorite race. Not necessarily my favorite story of the lore, but it's my favorite race of aliens in No Man's Sky, because they have. It's kind of like what I envision mankind to turn into. Google right now is working on a way to transfer your consciousness into a computer, and that's exactly
what. But the Korvax had their own issues too, because they were very cultish. They worshipped the Atlas and technology, and almost kind of like fanatics when it came to that.
Our J guy in the chat says Herc the jerk.
So I think each race had their own flaws, or their negative side, if you will, or bad side to them. Like the Gek had the first spawn, and the warrior, the Vikings were very warlike. And
see, I try not to hold it. Sorry.
That's okay. And
Sorry,
I was
I
just
didn't
gonna,
interrupt.
That's all right. I was just going to say, and then the Korvax almost were kind of like a hive mind. They were very cultish when it came to
Right.
the Atlas. So
I wanted to mention, though, in the defense of the Gek, the first spawn are mostly gone now. They're mostly extinct as far as we know. And the Gek we see today are synth Gek, the offspring of the Gek that were assimilated by the Korvax. So
Right.
most of the Gek are in truth very good-minded.
Well,
Most of them today are, anyways.
let me see if I could show you a little proof I have.
I've seen the first spawn. I've seen that in one of your videos. The video of the first spawn, that one survivor first spawn Gek that you can run into. Ironically, I never ran into him. Never.
So here we go. It says Mining Overseer Tuga. Why do the Korvax still walk free? He says. What have you done with our legacy?
Is it the guy that you work with? The guy that works for you?
No.
Oh, thank goodness. I was gonna say if it's a Gek companion, then I'm gonna be a tad bit worried that he's influencing us.
But you see,
they're influencing the travelers.
there are some that are out there that are first spawn sympathizers or whatnot.
And-
So they're there.
I mean,
and as
look-
Vilmar says in the chat, he said in the chat a couple weeks ago saying that Hello Games needs to create a great story where they bring back the first spawn, and that's our enemy.
And I'm not even gonna joke. I noticed something about the Gek armor in the creation in the creation option. You can have it on any of the races, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Gek armor, the Gek beak armor. My theory is that that's Gek first spawn armor. The Gek first spawn are rebuilding their empire, and they're recruiting travelers and people from all sorts of other races.
That's right.
Come
and
on,
they're tricking
it's
you.
feasible.
They're saying, hey, it's
feasible.
stylish. Just put this on, right? And then the
It's Gek
ancestors of the first spawn, their spirits are going to
Honestly,
take over
by
you
the
through
way,
your
I'm gonna
exosuits
throw a theory
and
out
get you to
there.
kill
Right.
the Korvax, right? That's what's going on here.
And here's
throw
the
a
thing.
theory out there?
I role play two characters. I role play two different characters in No Man's Sky. I role play Lobtronics, a traveler who has a shattered memory, and his soul is literally hanging on in tatters, because his consciousness was almost completely obliterated when he was uploaded with the wear technology. So now he's kind of hanging on in there in the simulation, barely knowing himself and what he is. And the interesting thing about him is, Lobtronics is he all he remembers about himself from his past is that he's a scientist. That's all he knows, and he's a biologist. Well, there's another character I came up with. He's a Gek, but he's
Right.
not. He's against type for the Gek. He's not a traitor. He's not a bard. He's not a merchant. He's actually a rebel against the first spawn dominion, and he's claiming that the first spawn are returning. He's trying to warn this Gek is trying to warn the galaxy. The first spawn are returning. You have to believe me. My people are going to betray the Korvax and the Viking once again. And he's literally been a guerrilla ops fighting against the Gek, trying to stop their covert operations in the galaxy.
Yeah.
He's literally a Gek rebel, and he's literally got a Gek rebellion rising up of synth Geks. He's got a rebellion of synth Geks rising up to fight the Gek Dominion.
Very
I
awesome.
think Joe wants to speak.
Sorry.
What's up, Joe?
I wanted to throw something out there about the proof and the lines that the Gek says that make you think he's first spawn. I think that it's just a glitch in the simulation.
Oh, come on. I think you're a Gek first spawn sympathizer.
You're first on.
You're trying to throw us off our trail.
Walking out.
Hey,
We should
I
keep
don't
our
really
eyes
like
on
the
you,
Gek.
my friend.
Like, gosh darn it, Tuga talked? I gotta fix this. I gotta tell Cobra, this is just a mess up.
My theory is just that's not first spawn.
Awesome.
Oh my God, yes.
Let me see if I
If I
can
may.
get Hooper on here.
Sympathizer.
Let's see if Hooper's ready. Hooper.
You there,
Hooper.
man?
Hooper
He's
is
just- Testing his
Jumping in
mic.
and out.
he's in the echoes.
I could hear him earlier in the Atlas 104.5 FM room, so I don't know.
Same here.
Why?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could hear him, and I don't think he noticed that I heard him. So yeah,
He
I
says
tried
he's
to let him know
testing
that
the
I
mic
could
right
hear him.
now.
All right. Well,
His mic wasn't bothering my ears, so I don't. I mean, I think it sounded just fine.
okay. Well,
He
let's
just said,
go ahead.
Cobra, I just wanted to tell you about, since we are discussing a lot of what Beyond thing, I just sent a link in the public chat and self-promotion. I just wanted users to see the Hello Games, if they design a new menu for off screen, and what kind of animations that would be. So I just want you to see and how it would be, and let all our people can see it and have comment on that. Like, what if a Beyond comes with a new menu screen, a new login screen?
Oh, you talking about
how
that thing that somebody made?
I made
Logging
it.
into the
Oh,
web
you made a
network.
Zyger. Oh, you're the one who made it. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Let's get this.
Oh,
All right. You know what? Just post that in general chat. I want everybody to see that. So
I think I all right. One second. I just did in self promotion. I'll just do it in the public chat,
okay. Hey,
and this would be the link. Yeah, I've just did it.
do me a
just
quick
get it.
favor. Snow. Is Snow? You still here? Snow?
Affirmative.
Yeah, okay, buddy. Thank you. You're a mod, right, in the chat? Yeah.
Yeah.
Share that video into the chat so people can see that if they haven't
Did
seen
you
it.
see Did you see Snow Obsidian, Cody? Did you see Snow Obsidian's call to challenge the other travelers in the many arenas of the galaxy? Snow
Yeah.
Obsidian, you cold animal!
Um,
I would challenge you, but I'd lose, and on top of that, I'm not very good at with my multi-tool. I'm terrible at it. I'm terrible at shooting things. I'm pretty good in my ship, just not good in my multi-tool.
you gotta
Even then
get,
in my ship, I
dude.
don't
You,
think I
you
can come.
gotta get good with your multi-tool.
I'm trying. The thing is, my character electronics isn't a fighter. He's a scientist. He doesn't like conflict. But now he's considering one day rising up and dethroning Snow Obsidian. One day.
I love this kid's imagination, dude. Don't ever stop being who you are. You got like the most amazing
no,
imagination. We got Panda Poopy, Hidden Panda. Panda, what's up, buddy?
What's going on, Cobra?
Not too much, man. I miss you, dude. I haven't talked to you in a long, long time.
I know it's been a while, and I'm not in a car this time, which is strange.
Darn it.
Hey, Panda.
What's going on, dude?
Sword's taking your
good
place
to
for
have
being
you.
in the car. He's usually in the car when he calls in. So yeah, he's
It's good to see everyone. Oh gosh, what was that? Holy cow!
Panda.
Oh,
what's
no,
going on,
it's
man?
starting to rain. It is starting to rain. Is it starting to rain? Stop. Yeah, it's starting to rain.
This kid's.
Oh, boy.
You got to be
Oh,
a
boy.
blast to be around, man. I swear.
I try to be. I try to be. boy.
Panda, what's going on, buddy?
Not much, man. Just still doing my YouTube thing and just speculating like I always do.
Yeah, everybody, you see the Panda's
Mom?
name in there in the chat. Once you click
Okay.
on his channel, if you don't know who he is, you're doing yourself a disservice. Go check him out and subscribe to him. He's got a lot of things going on over there. Panda, what do you think about the
sorry.
soft announcement that Sean made
Sorry.
about a new project he's working on?
Hey, Cobra, I'm gonna go eat a real quick dinner and then I'll be right back.
Okay, buddy.
Well,
You guys
real
stay
quick,
safe, okay?
Okay.
take care. Don't click on my icon in the chat. That's my personal YouTube channel. My channel where I actually do content is Hidden Panda Show.
Okie doke.
And-
I'll link that to the chat.
Thank you, Snow. Also, though, the soft announcement, the whole GDC thing, I think had some clues in there, and I don't know what they're working on, but it's really exciting.
Yes.
But they used a lot of similar language from Sean Murray's blog post, right, about
Right.
doing things to be ambitious and make impact. So we know that Beyond is going to be a massive update, but two, they're working on something behind the scenes,
Exactly.
something totally different, and it's not the last campfire. So that's really
Right.
exciting.
Yes.
Do you think Beyond is going to be larger than Next?
100%. Yeah.
I don't think so. The way he said it's their most ambitious chapter, not the most ambitious update. So I think what he means by chapter is like Abyss and Visions and things like that. I think that's what he's calling chapters.
Okay,
Well,
but with that being said, he's got three updates in one large massive update. So if you took Abyss and you took Visions and you took whatever, Pathfinder or Foundations, whatever, you took 3 of those and rolled them into one large scale update.
Well, it'd be big, yes. Well, I guess, Panda, you could also be right because Next, I guess, was such an impact because it was so much different than, what No Man's Sky was before. So I guess, yeah, I am starting to agree with you. It was such a big difference from what we were playing the day before, so this could also be more ambitious than that, just not as a drastic change in how the game actually looks and plays.
Well, when I say it's going to be the biggest update, like 100% in my mind, what I'm talking about specifically is from a features standpoint. Like if you look at Atlas Rises didn't completely, Pathfinder didn't completely overhaul the game, but it added a ton of components that led to the next thing.
Right.
With exocraft and things like that. I think the way to look at this, because if you look at the teaser trailer, the character model didn't look any different. The ship didn't look any different.
Right.
Some of the surroundings looked a bit different. I don't think that the game visually is changing much in terms of graphics, but I think it's going to be content. I wouldn't say that it's going to be 3 updates like Foundation, Pathfinder, Atlas Rises. Like you said, I think it's going to be more of an update that's like Abyss, Visions,
right.
3 updates like that, all rolled into one. It's just going to build on sort of the framework that Next provided. I see a lot of things happening with multiplayer and with space. Specifically, there was some hints to MMO in the language in the blog post. What are your thoughts on that? He tried to distance himself from MMOs from the standpoint of subscription fees and DLC and stuff like that. But I think that what he's saying is that it might have some callbacks to, it'll feel like an MMO, but it's not going to have these other things that we attribute to MMOs.
Okay, so if that's true, what aspects of the MMO could we speculate about? Because the stuff that we have in No Man's Sky right now really isn't MMO-esque. It's really not. It's more of a, at its core, it's more of just a true sandbox game. Go anywhere, do what you want. You have the freedom to play the game that you want to play. But if we're looking at elements from an MMO, that would add, it may extend on some things, but I think it would add new content that we currently don't have in the game at all. Exactly.
If you think about it, we already sort of, in terms of the community, we already play the game like an MMO. A lot of us already have our own factions and guilds and civs, and we do events like races and PvP battles and all these other things where all these players get together, and it's sort of like interdimensional, right? It's like some of it can take place in the game, but most of it is taking place outside the game. What if Hello Games is working on merging those two things together so that those player-created experiences can function in-game on a larger scale?
So it'll feel more organic, and we don't have to force the game to play that way.
Right. Exactly.
I think that's a much more reasonable sort of speculation of how they would achieve something like that, Yeah,
exactly. But, to a lot of the things that people are pointing out is that when they say it's not an MMO, it's not an end of a sentence. They actually, continue that by saying by talking about the financials of an MMO, that it's not going to require subscription and won't contain microtransactions and will be free. So his saying that it won't be, we don't consider No Man's Sky an MMO because it doesn't have these financial things.
Right.
Yeah.
So the No Man's Sky Online could be bigger than what we're actually thinking.
Right. They're distancing themselves from what people perceive as sort of the financial aspects of an MMO by saying, hey, we're not doing this and we're going to continue to support the game in this way. But in the very same line of text, they said, but there will be certain like reminders or certain familiarities with those sorts of games.
Right.
And I think that's a big clue.
Which, you know, dude, that's really got me excited, because that's one of the things that we were talking about in previous subcasts, was that right now we kind of play. There's a lot, not everybody, but there's a lot of people out there that play No Man's Sky for the new expansion, and then they do what they want to do, and then they shelf it for a while, and then they won't bring it back out of the closet until a new expansion comes out. But we're looking for the game to grow in a way that engages the player and keeps them in the game on a consistent basis, to have a steady player base. And I think that, I hope that this Beyond update will bring that. I think it will.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you. We've got Carlos has been waiting in the chat. I know my arguer on Twitter is going to be coming by, so I don't know who this is. We'll try. Carlos, how you doing, buddy? Welcome to the show.
Oh, hey there. How's everyone doing?
Doing pretty good. What's on your mind, buddy?
Well, a lot of things are on my mind based on everything you guys have been talking about where the game might go from here, and well, I'm still trying to process all the possibilities that you guys gave about not being exactly like an MMO, but probably functioning like one in a sense or another.
Right.
One thing I'm curious about is when it comes to No Man's Sky Online, is if it's going to have interference on PS4 of PlayStation Network.
What do you mean?
Well, because in order to play online on only PlayStation, you need to have a PS Plus account. Otherwise, you're just left out of it. So that kind of spoils the no subscription part. You don't have that in the computer, for example.
Yeah, but that's Sony. It's not Hello Games.
Right. That's not Hello Games charging you that.
Yeah, that's Sony. Yeah. That's Sony double dipping in the internet in access there.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, though. Hello Games had a way where we could still have multiplayer, albeit ambient, and still not have the PS Plus requirement. Remember Alice Rises?
Right.
Yeah, it's still kind of that, like, except you just see the floating orbs, and the green orbs for ships. Like, that's all you can see.
And the same goes for even next, post next, in fact, because while we have other players that we can see player models, if someone comes in with a PlayStation subscription or comes in through a portal, you will see them as an orb.
Right. No, the orbs are gone. That was part of their roadmap. I highly doubt that there's going to be orbs anymore in No Man's Sky. I'd bet money. I got an Atlas pass. I still have some Atlas passes to give away if I'm wrong. The orbs are gone.
Exactly would be the difference between non-subscription and with subscription on PS4. That's what I'm wondering about. Because if the orbs are gone, then naturally we would expect at least most of the other features to come with it as well.
That's true. Very true.
So, you know, I speculated if that's the case, then I think what would happen is the game would be MMO-esque, meaning that Hello Games isn't going to charge you a fee in any aspect to play the game. You would still reap the benefits of having Beyond on your system. You'd be able to play all the content, except for, and I'm not saying this is how it's going to work. I'm just speculating that you would need a subscription through the PlayStation Plus to do multiplayer. And you could turn that on or off and pay that fee. If you want to play with friends or other people, then you would have to have PlayStation Plus. If not, you could still enjoy the game in a solo play.
Yeah, and I think that's at the mercy of Sony whether that gets put on there or not, unless somehow Hello Games is taking the brunt of that and saying, we'll pay you this amount if you just leave it subscription free. You know, I mean, I wouldn't put that beyond Hello Games to do something like that. So that's a possibility, because we did have multiplayer, and it said, you know, our last update, did Next say it would not require a PlayStation Plus subscription?
It did.
It did or didn't?
I believe it.
It did require it or did not require it?
I believe it did not require you to have a PlayStation Plus. I think they stated that.
And we definitely have multiplayer in No Man's Sky, 100%. So who knows? Hello Games could be, you know, again, giving us something else, that because they're just amazing people. All these updates are free. They do whatever they can to make sure that we don't have to pay. I don't know how that works. I do want to say thank you to Platitude Platypus for the donation, saying we need No Man's Sky cross-platform. We need one galaxy, one universe. Yes, I agree with you. It needs to be cross-play with PC, Xbox, and PlayStation 4. I do agree with that.
Back onto the No Man's Sky Online with PlayStation Plus. I will say that there's a small selection of games, i.e. Dungeon Defenders 2, not many of you may have heard of that, and Fortnite, everyone knows Fortnite. Those games don't require a PlayStation Plus subscription, and they're both massively multiplayer games. Fortnite.
Okay, so let's think about that for a second.
Over 100 players.
That's good.
They're also free to play, and they have DLC, and they pay royalties to Sony for that DLC.
Okay, so that's also, hold on, let's think about that for a second. Jason the King, I just want to give you a shout out. How you doing, buddy? It's good to see you in the chat. So Panda, you said that they're paying royalties to Sony. Is that to leave it subscription free?
Well, if you think about it, that model would have to exist if you have to have PlayStation Plus to play online with one game, but not another, and those games are free to play. Free to play games, they have a financial system in which the player would either pay subscriptions or pay for DLC, and whatever monies are generated during those transactions, a portion of those, I would imagine, would have to go to Sony. I don't know that for a fact, but that would be the only way to justify not having to have PlayStation Plus to play those games. And that's okay. So Dave Langer says free-to-play games don't need PlayStation Plus, and that's probably why, because Sony's still getting something from that. So is it far off to say that maybe Hello Games is making it to where they're taking the end of that and making it so that it stays subscription-free in some way, shape, or form?
If they manage to do that, it's gonna be pretty extraordinary.
Because technically, it's not a free-to-play game, and it has multiplayer. We could all play together. We could jump on and play together right now, but yet it still doesn't require PlayStation Plus. So something's going on, because that goes against what Sony wants, right? Sony wants you to have
there's still network settings, even if you are. I mean, there's still some like network influenced aspects of the game, even if you don't have a subscription. Like you still, like during community events, you still have people joining and exiting your game under the 16-player lobby. And you still see them roaming around. You'll see their bases, etc. Like the only difference is that they're just orbs. So like.
So Dave Langer, okay, just like Dave Langer said, No Man's Sky Next, you need PlayStation Plus to see the avatars. If not, you just see the orbs. I've had PlayStation Plus forever. I mean, even before they required it, just because I like the free games and the discounts. So is that true, guys? Do you only see the orbs?
I've always had PlayStation Plus, so I don't know. I couldn't answer that.
Yeah.
I have on one occasion encountered a player in a multiplayer instance without PlayStation Plus. They came through the portal, and so he didn't have PlayStation Plus. He came through the portal, and it was an orb.
Was it Next?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So then that's
I've
probably
had that experience.
By
on
the way,
PC
without
as well.
subscription, I'm sorry. just to say that without subscription, the join a multiplayer game option in the main menu doesn't also get you anywhere. You just go to the PlayStation Plus paywall. Like
Oh,
the
really?
only way I found other orbs was through community events where everybody was at the same place. I didn't get to cross any other player. Like I occasionally see like finds by other players, but I never found another player right in front of me exploring mindlessly.
Yeah. I mean, I once, yeah, I was playing on a single player instance while I was with Stubborn Ninja at the time. He didn't have PlayStation Plus, and I entered his game via Portal, and he was an orb.
I see. Guys, there he is in the chat there, the Hidden Panda Show. Click that name and give him a subscribe. Go on over there. It's great content. Really good friend of the show, too.
I posted his content channel way back. I'll post it again. Oh, wait,
Okay.
nope, that's the one. Never mind.
We got some Cobras that still need to be added in here to get their point of view. We got Thawstar. What's up, buddy? How are you?
Hey, I'm okay.
That's good. That's
man,
good.
you're really quiet.
Yeah, you're pretty low.
How about that?
It's a little bit louder. What's on your mind, Thawstar?
Well, I was thinking about a few of the things that we were talking about so far. I think the most important thing is what I've been thinking about have been those two question marks, and I think that's because the online part is supposed to be
There's a hype train.
the troll train.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
I think the online part is supposed to be sort of the main focus that they want us to have of this update, whereas the two question marks are, while they're still probably large things, they're sort of somewhat off to the side, not a large focus like the online part.
Secondary?
Well, yes, sort of. The way I look at it is the way they've done the previous updates, where they name it, and the name is obviously indicative of the overall of everything that's in the update. So they named this one Beyond, and we already sort of understand where they're coming from with the online portion, but that also has to describe the other two question mark points. And so I think, and you tie that along with the ambitious quote that he had, where he said this is the most ambitious update, and the online thing is definitely really ambitious, like Next, and it's probably really close to maybe that alone is maybe like equal to Next, but it doesn't really tip the scale enough to knock it into that area of being more ambitious or the most ambitious update yet, which is why I think one of those question marks is for sure it has got to be VR, because nothing says Beyond more than VR, and VR would just that just completely destroys the scale.
I want it more than you know. Vera, thank you so much for the donation. I can't see what you said. So if you could type it in the chat, something messed up there. I want VR more than you know, and you just gave me goosebumps all over talking about that. And we do know that's pretty ambitious thing for them to try and tackle, especially with No Man's Sky. But we do also know that it was on their survey. what would you like to see us work on the most? And VR was one of those things. And I guarantee you, a lot of the guys, a lot of explorers out there, click that VR button.
The fact that you even put the VR button as an option means they're open to considering it.
Exactly.
Which is a big deal.
And we all know that ever since 2014, when I started covering No Man's Sky, I've been showing pictures of, we called it Project Morpheus back then, and it was all over their studio. I was always like, hey, there it is again. Here's Project Morpheus. It's on a different desk, and now it's on a different desk. And Sean Murray's even said they've had it working in a rudimentary way. So it's definitely something that's on the table and would be very hard. So I do want it. I've experienced VR, so I'm in a different crowd now to where before I kind of just like, I don't want VR. But I bought the PSVR, which is the lowest quality of VR that's out there. But I have seen things I never thought I'd ever see in my life. And I've seen images that I didn't think were possible. And it's absolutely amazing. And having No Man's Sky in VR would blow my mind. And I would get fired from my job because I would never unplug.
Yeah, once you try it, it's just
it's so immersive.
Yes,
anything you've experienced.
Panda, thank you
guys. There's a game coming out that's in work in progress right now. It's supposed to be the first VR MMO, and the way they're approaching it is VR is an option, so the game's completely playable without VR. But every game mechanic is designed with VR in mind to make it not feel like VR is slapped on.
Right.
No Man's Sky might actually beat him to the punch.
Oof. Oh, stop it! Stop! We're not supposed to over-speculate. We're not supposed to. We don't do that here. We under-speculate. We did it with Atlas Rises and Next. We can't over-speculate.
In all fairness,
I always thought that they
speculated enough. So.
Panda,
thought they have been preparing for VR. I thought there were like rumors back before it released that they were maybe going to have VR support, and then it didn't release with that. But then, ever since we've played from day one, whenever you're in that ship cockpit view, you're always looking at those two controls on the sides that look like your hands are supposed to go right there. And that's what I want in VR, is to be able to put my hands on those controls and fly from inside the cockpit.
That'd be so cool. Panda, I want to thank you so much for the donation, buddy. You said speculation frigates and beyond will be 4-person multi-crew drop ships where you can carry everyone's ships with you on the landing pads when exploring. Oh my gosh.
What about Walker exocrafts?
Thank you, Panda.
By the way, guys, breaking news. Kyle Culver?
Yeah, I got it on the screen here. We're getting ready to talk about it. Carpets and Curtains says Matt Barrett. That's right. When we're gonna have to go back to that, guys, especially with the kind of talk you guys are doing. Carpets and Curtains. That's what we're getting for this update. I do want to state or show that Kyle Culver. You guys know who Kyle Culver is. If you don't, just search him on YouTube. The guy's amazing. He's a great video editor. He covered Waking Titan when it was going on with very detailed videos. But we got it on picture here. Kyle Culver, he works at Microsoft. I don't think that's wrong to say. I think he's kind of announced it. It says right there on his name. Met Sean Murray and got to shake his hand. It says, thank you so much at No Man's Sky, Sean Murray, for meeting with me for a couple of the best minutes of my career. I'm looking forward to the coming No Man's Sky updates. Thank you for shaking my hand finally. Kyle, don't wash it. Don't.
That would be a Sean Murray's hand shaking.
I'm going to need to find a way to get Kyle Culver's hand. I'm just saying.
Look at that smile on Kyle's face. Would you look at that? Look at that smile. You know what? I'd be the same way. I'd be actually worse. I don't know, man. I'd be like a little weird fanboy or whatever. But
I'm not worthy.
So he gave him a thank you so much for your beautiful shots. It means so much. I guess he took some pictures or filmed them or something, and then he signed it there. So very, very awesome there, Kyle. Jealous. Very jealous. You know, I have an open invitation. I interviewed Paul Weir, who did all the sounds for No Man's Sky, and we were talking about how I guess like some kind of like school group just walked right into the studio there and unannounced or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, well, I would do the same thing, Paul. And then he goes, well, if it was you, we would definitely let you in. No problem. So I got an open invitation. I just got to get there. I don't know how to get there. I can't afford to go to UK.
Cobra,
Yeah.
you have to call Sean on your show, please.
Oh,
Well, somebody give me his Discord name.
I mean, it would be awesome if he comes in. It would be an awesome show. Like, you've been waiting for so many years, and if he comes, that would be a dream coming true, right?
Oh, it would,
So-
yeah.
That
Yeah.
would be a
Sean,
thing. I mean,
know you're listening.
please come to Cobra Show.
Click the link in the description,
Oh, we could just spam Twitter.
please.
Please, I'm begging you. Come. I'm actually praying. I'm folding my hands and begging. Please, Sean, if you're listening, come to Cobra Show.
Yes, please,
Hey,
Sean.
so,
Thank you.
Just out of curiosity, you know, we've already seen the trailer for Beyond, and we know that Sean's going to be dropping clues along the way in the upcoming weeks or months before launch. Do you think that the next thing we'll get is an expanded version of the trailer or the teaser that he just released, or do you think that we'll get a teaser of something completely and totally different?
I hope we get 3 trailers, and I hope they're longer than that first one. That first one's technically only 3 seconds.
4 seconds, probably.
But yes, everything's extended in the name itself. That doesn't count.
Yep.
Yeah, the best trailer campaign I remember from No Man's Sky is the 4 Pillars trailers that were coming out like once a week. I kind of hope to do it like that, but who knows?
But do you think that the trailer? Do you
Maybe.
think the trailers will be independent of each other, or do you think that they'll be compiled to create one long trailer?
I think they're going to have hints. No, I don't think they're going to be compiled. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But I think they're going to have hints, because I think that first one, No Man's Sky Online, it kind of hints at intergalactic traveling in the blog post that they put on nomansky.com. And what you see there is a lot of people are speculating that's a portal you can fly your ship through. And the blog post, they lean very heavily at there's some wording in there saying it empowers players everywhere in the universe to meet and play together.
Yeah.
So I think that's obviously
kind of hub.
Right, exactly. Oh my gosh, that is a hub. If
that is indeed a hub, and I think that's the most plausible perspective on that teaser is that it is a hub. Is it independent of any building that we currently have in the game, or did they expand on the space stations, and the space stations will incorporate that hub?
perhaps a different station altogether. Who
Yeah,
knows?
might be a different.
So hear me out
station.
on that teaser. If you pay attention to behind the character model and the ship at the very back, it just looks like a big terminus.
It could be part of the anomalies.
Maybe that's how you get between galaxies, because he talked about across the universe, not universes, not dimensions, not galaxies. What if that's a terminus? What if that's how you get to Hilbert and all that other kind of stuff?
No, yeah,
And
that's
get
exactly what I'm thinking. Yeah, it's that's exactly what I think it is. You could just fly your ship right through it. But I also think that might be something you could install in your hub. I really think there's this hub integration. And this could be a hub, one of the hub buildings that we could have. Because if you look down there's a pathway to walk. It looks like there's a pathway to walk, and it looks like there's like water going over top of it, for crying out loud. So, and then there's other things in there that look like other things that we're going to be able to have. You know, like there's something that looks like a knowledge a knowledge stone, but I know it's not. It's too big to be a knowledge stone. It's not the right color, but it's spinning. And then there's something over to the right that looks like something else that you can maybe craft or build. I'm not even sure. It could be a flag. That could be, like one of those draped flags. I don't know.
So, with all that being said, I'm also going to go out on a limb and speculate that he is further optimized gameplay in this, because if the game is multiplayer, and I'm gonna speculate that some of it might be stored on a server. It might be server based, but if we're able to see everybody, in other words, all the blue little orbs are lifted from the game, and it's true online multiplayer experience, that also tells me that we're going to be able to see everybody's base at any given time. And if that's the case, then optimization is going to have to go through the roof. It'll have to be extremely increased, because right now, even on the PlayStation 4, we experience lag if our bases get too large or too out of control. It has difficulty rendering the textures.
I agree.
But I have another story if you guys want to listen. If you just look at the top floor animation, it looks like similar to when you visit an Atlas station. And I think, I'm just guessing, if this is a location where you exit the simulation and hopefully meet, the gameplay story character Artemis on the other side, like we have shifted in the end of the storyline in the main game. And what if this is actually a portal where you actually exit it and then go to a real full end galaxy of the game?
That's a possibility too.
I don't know, but for whatever reason, I'm more hyped for this expansion or this update than I have been for any other. I don't know why. Maybe it's because we don't have the ARG going, and where we're not getting hints and clues dropped to us like we were on a regular basis through the ARG. But I am extremely excited for this update.
Oh, we're getting it. Dude, that blog post is full of clues. The blog post is full of clues. His GDC talk was very revealing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Plus we have next. Like, after next, we see what they're capable of.
I was just about to say that. I was not expecting next.
No, nobody was. Nobody. We were all shocked. We got Viking Captain. Let's get Viking Captain on the show. What's going on, buddy?
We were on a regular basis.
Oh, he's on a delay.
Oh, we're getting it. Dude, that blog post is full.
Hey, that's me. Copyright strike.
My voice.
Copyright strike me. That guy sounds just like me. No, Viking Captain, you got to mute your stream, buddy.
I was just about to say that. I was not.
Wow, that's a big delay. That's a delay within a delay within a delay.
It's Loop 16.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy.
How y'all doing?
Uh-oh, he's way behind. It's going to take about a minute for him to catch up to me saying mute the stream.
That's me. Copyright strike.
It's like
Copyright strike. That's the best line, I think.
Gotta mute your stream, buddy.
Okay.
You need to just say echo and then wait.
All right.
Viking Captain, how are you, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing great, man.
That's good, man. That's good. What's on your mind? What brings you on the show today? There's a lot that should be on your mind at this point.
Well, I've been monitoring No Man's Sky ever since it came out, and I love it because I'm a big sci-fi fan. And I'm very glad to see that it took a big turn because of the failure of the launch when it came out. And I'm very excited about this Beyond update because I think it's going to answer a lot of questions that we've been waiting on.
And what are those?
Like ship customization, race, better AI races, and maybe new races. I hope.
Yeah, that's one of the things that was on that my self-named roadmap. Their survey was more depth to NPCs.
What was on that survey again? Remind me, please.
I'm sorry, what?
The option? What exactly were the options on that survey again? I kind of forgot over time.
I got it here. Let me see if I can get. Okay, I got it on screen. So I got circled in red what we could have gotten so far that resemble Abyss and Visions, enhancement to underwater exploration, which would be Abyss, stranger, more varied planets, which they did it to exotic planets and added some more color back into the game. So there's those two. The other ones are polish of existing features, which would not be an update by itself, replace orbs with full character models, which could reside with No Man's Sky Online. Quality of life improvements, which would not be an update by itself, not a chapter, not an update. More base building depth, that could. More depth and variety in NPCs, that could be an update by itself. Larger multiplayer lobbies, which could coincide with replace orbs as well and go into No Man's Sky Online. And then VR support.
What else? Something I want to point out.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Remember the race terminal? If we were to get bigger multiplayer lobbies, that race terminal would have to either be extended horizontally, like along its current plane, or they would have to extend it in a different way, like you know how Mario Kart is, where it has the set of locations where you can have your racers line up on the starting line.
Right.
They can have it that way. And I'm not sure, but if we get bigger multiplayer lobbies, they need to adjust for the races.
I agree. I mean, that races is amazing. It's just, it's only fun when we do like the community events. Other than that, it's just, I don't know.
But I don't think. I don't even think you're going to have lobbies. I think you'll be able to form groups, just like we do now. But outside of that, I think it'll be just free multiplayer. Period. I think if there's 50 people on a planet, there's going to be 50 people that you can see. You know, if you're going to have the convergence where hundreds of people show up, ooh God, I wonder what the I wonder what the lag would be like on that. But I think you'll be able to see everybody.
Hey, you know what? I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. I wanted to comment on that right there. When the PS5 and the Xbox S hits the market, and I'm pretty sure that PlayStation is going to have backwards compatibility. I mean, not backwards compatibility, but crossplay.
Right.
I think that's going to unite a lot of No Man's Sky players with other platforms.
Well, yeah. I mean, they're trying to do it right now with Rocket League and Fortnite.
Yeah, that's going to be more people in the lobby. That's going to be nice.
I really hope that's what they do. And we also have technologies out there. One in particular, there's more than one, but the one that's coming to my mind right now is Amazon Lumberyard, which can give the developers the chance to have thousands and thousands and thousands of people in the lobby in one instance. So the game Identity was going to use it. They probably still are. And what's that other game that I interviewed for? I can't remember the title for the life of me right now.
Was it Everywhere?
No, not Everywhere. It's another space game, building space game.
Dual Universe, maybe?
Dual Universe, yeah, sorry. I don't know why that escaped me. I talked to the guy. But he's using something that says that he could have hundreds of thousands of people in a lobby at one time.
Wow.
And it's like Amazon Lumberyard. So if Hello Games is tapping into some of that technology and paying, they got to pay for that service, which also leads us back to the new game that they have in development to continue their profitability. But if they've tapped into something like that, holy crap, guys. I mean, that's kind of, I think that's over speculation, but the option's on the table for them to use Amazon Lumberyard.
Someone search up a GIF of the Sean Murray mind blown GIF.
But you know what, Cobra?
What's that?
I think you're gonna like this one, but I think Cyberpunk is gonna take all the hype when it comes out.
It will. It will. Yeah, I agree with you. And I saw a post, we're going to be talking about it in edited videos, something like, I think the release date's now 2021 or something like that. I don't know. I haven't read the full article yet.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, it is nearing midnight. We've been on for practically 2 hours now.
Okay.
Any last comments, I'm guessing? Or are you going to continue the show?
We're not ending it. No, we're not going to end it yet. We got somebody.
Yeah, let's throw another pot of coffee, man.
There's some people still in the Atlas room that I want to get on the show before we think about ending it. We got Nit.
No, I think they're capable of making their own like system. I think they're capable of making like their own hub. Like that's what I think they're.
You have been raptured.
Yeah, I have been raptured.
Yes, sir.
I'm here. I've been here.
So chill when you just said that.
So yeah, but I think they're capable of so much stuff. I think they're like I don't want to underwhelm it. I think we see what they did with Next, right?
Right.
I think they're capable of making their own hub with like a handcrafted planet, maybe like multiple planets. I think they're gonna like because when they say like when they're gonna bring us all together like online, like that's what you think of, right? We saw it with Warframe. We had it. What was that? That's a mission-based game where you played with your friends, but you could only hang out in missions. They put a hub system. That game was #1 on Steam for years.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking if they do that, this game is going to blow up.
So you think that they could make like these handcrafted planets that just a few peppered in each galaxy that are meeting places for us?
That's
Cover. We saw this like back in your old videos. We saw like the dev videos. We saw how their tools worked. We saw them going so fast. They were going like 1,000 miles an hour before the planets could even like spawn.
Catch up.
So we saw them like building mountains. So what's going to keep them from building like islands and shit? Like if they want to build a water planet with like seven islands, and like have an island for each thing, like PvP, racing, mining, lore, like they could do that easily because you figure either they updated those tools or they're more used to those tools. They could probably get away with it,
Let me ask you this: when we did the community events, do you think that those planets were already within the galaxy, or do you think that those planets were handcrafted specifically?
I think they didn't have the online capability to really make us all fit together in those community events because we still have orbs, right? So like if we make a planet or like anything or like just like a mission where you have to go to this place and like maybe like 20 or some people get together, that's enough to make it like player models. I feel like if they make it so there's a quest where everybody can fit in, it's not orbs and it's like very natural feeling, that's like what we need. Because I was hearing a lot about VR and stuff, and I don't really want to bash on VR, but at the same time, I really want to have this game evolve and become something where the community just like helps each other. We need a reason to play the game. Yeah.
No, I 100% agree. Like there are a lot more things that are more important than VR. Like I agree with you 100%. My biggest thing that I want to see in No Man's Sky is more variation in planets and fauna.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what I want first and foremost. But again, it's I'm definitely not going to throw VR out of bed. You know what I mean?
Oh no, yeah. It's just the thing is, not all of us have VR, but VR would be sick. That's a cool add-on. Like
I think if they put VR in No Man's Sky, people would get it pretty quick.
I would
honestly, in this community, I would agree. Like this community is like really like into the game. So once No Man's Sky would come out with it, everybody would snatch up VR.
Yeah. There'd be a lot of PB and J sandwiches for dinner. That's for sure.
Oh yeah.
The biggest
there'd be a lot.
There'd
be a lot of like dizziness too. Because VR kind of makes you sick.
The biggest problem with VR as a system is that there's not a lot of content for it, really, that's been refined. Something like No Man's Sky, adapting VR and adapting it well will be major things for VR as a whole.
That is true.
You know what VR reminds me of?
What's that?
That movie called Player Ready One.
Yeah, I think that was based on the concept of VR entirely.
Yeah, Ready Player One, but I haven't seen it, but it sounds absolutely beast.
It's a good movie, very good movie.
If you look into the most advanced VR technologies that are all being prototyped right now, we almost have the hardware for Ready Player One. But what we don't have is any of those game worlds or the ability to make those game worlds. No Man's Sky would be one of the closest things to those types of game worlds.
Yeah.
I agree.
Thing is with No Man's Sky, dude, it's just like a canvas. They have this base game, and they have so many avenues where they could go with it. You know, like they could go the Destiny route. They could like make it in a mode. They could do like so much stuff with it. It's just like, what are they gonna do? You know?
Right. I want to kind of get some of these guys in here, kind of stack some people. I want to see if Hooper has gotten his mic working. Hooper, you there? Hooper? Okay, Hooper's still not there. He's been the best guest all night.
That's weird. When I was in the lobby, I could actually hear him, but he couldn't hear me.
Oh, something must be wrong with the speakers or something. Let's get Sword. He could come in, but on his own. But I'm gonna get him in here. Sword, what's up, buddy?
What's up, Cobra?
Nothing much, man. Nothing much. Just talking about No Man's Sky. Talking about the possible new game that they're working on, the update, speculation, things like that. What's on your mind?
Oh, not much, man. Just been chilling out, listening to the SUBCAST, man. You know, all the really innovative and cool ideas you guys have come up with.
These guys are amazing. These guys you guys are the best.
This is my favorite time in No Man's Sky. It's some of my favorite memories. Is getting you on. You getting these SUBCAST together with all these player guests and stuff come into the SUBCAST chat and all the really cool out of the box thinking you guys do. I mean, it's just awesome to be a part of it. Just to sit back and listen to it is it's my favorite time. I always call it like update season. When they dropped that trailer Friday, and I seen how short it was, I just started rubbing my hands together. Oh my God, this is going to be awesome!
It makes you kind of want to say Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to one and all.
Merry Christmas.
Right.
Ho, ho. And to all, no night sleep.
And here's a good point. Let's go back. Let me point something out real quick. You remember what Sean did when he got stressed? What did Sean do when he got stressed when he had to finish the game? What happened to him? What changed on his face?
He grew a beard.
Now let's go over. Take a look at Sean Murray. He's got that beard, right?
Oh, am I right?
Look at that. Look at that. I mean, I love you, Sean, but it doesn't look like you had a brush for last couple hours. So he definitely looks like he's been pulling his hair. You know what I'm saying? He looks like the pulling of the hair kind. So he's been working hard. So this update could be big just based on the facial hair alone.
I will say this though. I watched that GDC speech he gave, and when the game was in development and they done the interviews and had him on the different talk shows and stuff like that and the different interviews with the gaming reporters and whatnot.
Yeah,
you could see a nervousness about him. He didn't know what to do with his hands. He was really awkward, sort of. He come to that GDC conference and just dropped the mic, and I mean, it was awesome. He was comfortable. He was in his element. You know what that tells me?
What's that?
Confidence.
Beyond is done.
Oh, yeah.
The reason we don't have that Beyond right now, and this is my speculation, the reason we don't have Beyond right now is because he's wanting to do this for us, the community, so we can stew on it, we can speculate on it, we can have our fun, our update season fun before this thing drops.
Yeah.
He also wants to make sure it's perfect.
Honestly, I don't think Hello Games will ever fall into that problem again. I don't think they'll ever drop another update that isn't tested and tuned and optimized.
I agree.
Yeah, for sure.
With Next, it had a few bugs when it released, but it changed the way the updates came. Because we got Abyss and Visions that didn't include a Galactic Reset.
Right. And these updates that we're getting right now for Beyond were supposed to be the same way as Abyss and Visions, but they were going to be their own separate chapters. And now we're getting them all together. And I think somebody else mentioned this. They're saying that maybe I can't remember who it was, so I'm sorry I can't credit you, but somebody was saying that when Visions was released, there wasn't a whole lot of hype, not a whole lot of excitement. Like they announced it and dropped it, like really, really quick.
Oh,
and
yeah. Like they weren't really farming for that hype. They just, this is done. Here you go.
Yeah, and so maybe they thought, hey, that really didn't help us, so let's just work on the next 3 that we were going to release. Like they said, they were going to release them all separately and then decided to keep them all together. Maybe it's because Vision didn't get a whole lot of excitement when it was announced and then released.
Well,
I mean, it kind of leaked, so...
Well, honestly, I think it was an intentional leak. I think the reason Vision dropped so quick is so that way Hello Games could get through, like, if there was any bugs that had to be worked out or any patches that needed to be worked out, it could be done, processed, and put out there before we walked into the holiday season. Because if you don't remember, Vision's right before Thanksgiving. So that way they can go into the holiday season, spend some time, the development team can spend some time with their families and have some time off. I think that's why Visions got rushed through.
Also, it's because Xbox, they got the game, so they let's show like Xbox. Yeah, we update this game, you know?
Yeah, that's true as well. We got a lone caller in the chat there. I want to get him on. His name is Yaux9. Oh, he's gone.
Yeah. You
scared him away, Cobra. What the fuck?
No, he keeps leaving. He keeps jumping out. Don't leave. Don't leave. Don't leave. Stay.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. I need a good 2 hours of subcast to get pumped up to get home, man.
I don't know how to pronounce your name there. Yaux Do9.
It's okay. It's okay. I just wanted to say that I believe that there is no point on improving multiplayer so much if the game is not as engaging and atmospheric as it used to be before.
That's a very good point. And I think that's a very good point, and I agree with you. And if they release No Man's Sky Online, I think a lot of people, like by itself, I think a lot of people would be kind of upset. Like, why are you doing this when we want more fauna? We want more varied planets. And why are you adding to the multiplayer? So I don't know if I fit in the crowd that I would be upset because I like interacting with people. But we have 2 more updates that are question marks that are going along with it that are going to improve the game in other ways other than online. So,
but see, I speculate that every time we've had an update, big or small, whether it's been Foundations, Pathfinder, Atlas Rises, so on and so forth, we've always had a graphical update of some kind, or variation update of some. They're always behind the scenes. I don't know if. Visions was the first one that they came out with that they said, well, we've added more variety. Here's what we've got so far. But I think that's something that they're always going to go back to the drawing board and try to enhance and improve along the way, regardless of the update that we're getting. I think we're always going to see graphical enhancements to the game on a consistent basis. I do hope for more variation, and I do hope for more expansion on space. Do something a little more with space than what they've currently got. But man, for multiplayer, I pray and I hope that they expand on the quest logs, community-based missions, the combat, faction building, and player economy. Because to me, I think that those aesthetics or those game mechanics fit hand in hand with multiplayer.
Yeah,
I agree.
Like the community is keeping this game alive, So we want something back. Like we've seen what we could do. Like Cobra, like he has the arenas. Like that's where they came from. Like that's a PvP element to this game that didn't exist. The community made that.
Right.
So I feel like the more online we get, like we could just keep making more. But at the same time, I agree. We need more like for like the solo person,
Yeah.
Well, and so like when I talk about, and I don't know, I feel like I'm beating a dead horse because I think I've mentioned this on Cobra's previous shows, but when I'm talking about like combat updates, I think the combat is rudimentary in the game right now.
There's only so much,
Yeah, you can't aim down your sights. You don't have scopes. The handling of the gun doesn't feel heavy or, maybe as good as like other first person shooters and stuff like that. Now, that's not what I'm really asking for. But I
Aiming
am
button,
asking,
maybe?
what's that?
And button to aim, an aim mechanic, for example?
Right, to make you feel like you're actually looking down the sights of guns.
Yeah. Oh man, I would love that so much. It definitely is some improvement there for gunplay. Panda, welcome back to the show. But I gave you Patreon access since you're like a super big friend of the show, so you can just come into the Subcast whenever you want now.
Oh, dude, thank you.
Yeah, bud.
So like going back to the combat thing. So if they could incorporate that. Granted, solo players would gain from that.
Yeah, they'd benefit from it too. Yeah,
but so would a group or multiplayer community, because then with the combat you could add dungeon crawls or points of interest or increase threat, and give you reasons to use those game mechanics in conjunction with combat. It's like. I think that there's a lot of potential. I just think I hope that's what's coming down the pipe. Will I be disappointed? Absolutely
all this game
not,
is
I love the
is
game
potential.
Yeah,
it's like
No Man's potential.
It's literally
it's like
a
the
giant
gift that keeps
canvas.
on giving.
Dude, they set up the
But not
perfect
contagious.
game. They set up the perfect game. Just add to it, Just add to it. Like, they set it up. It's there. Like, you see Anthem falling. You see that this game is just growing. Like, this is the game,
Right,
just add to it,
Well, you
Give
know
us
what
a reason to play it.
You know what they're doing, like in terms of the game industry. No one has an excuse anymore. Like we've all been on the 2016 journey. We've all seen what they've had to overcome.
Right.
They sank the Titanic, they resurrected it, and then now it's actually a AAA title with AAA numbers, and they did it without charging the players any extra money.
Thank you
and
so
any
much.
AAA
Thank you.
company.
Hello Games they're so good.
Keep going, Panda. Keep going, man. You're speaking the word right here that I wanted to speak. Go ahead, Panda.
Any AAA company that thinks that they can do it any other way has lost their mind.
Thank you.
No one's going to be able to do it because they have no more excuses. If you paid $60 in 2016, during that time, you've gotten Foundations, Pathfinder, Atlas Rises, Next, Abyss, Visions. You're getting Beyond. You haven't paid an extra cent. Haven't paid for any customizations. You haven't paid for any Exocraft. You haven't paid for any exclusive access. You haven't had to pay DLC. You haven't had to pay a season pass. You haven't had to pay anything but the cost of admission, the cost of the game.
Thank you so much. That is exactly what I've been. Yes. Yes. I wanted to say it earlier when we were talking about when he mentioned AAA's game companies and the GDC. And I wanted to really hammer down on that, but I decided not to. But yes, the AAA has a lot to learn from Hello Games.
They do, because they even when AAA they bomb. Like, people will still say, "Oh, I mean, it was good because of this reason." No, it's not. Like, you're just falling for the hype, dude.
Yeah,
I want to throw something out there.
Yeah, we know our game bombed, but get the season pass, yo.
Yeah, get the season pass. Yo, you know we have the 6th skin, dude. You look like Iron Man, but yo, don't worry about the game being broken. Like,
Did you see the Clean Prince Gaming review or whatever it was regarding the Division 2? He was surprised the game released good. That's what these AAA companies have been doing.
Apparently Division 2 released good, especially off the heel of Anthem being a piece of shit. Like, Division 2, like, apparently is a decent looter shooter for the first time in how many years? Like, how's that happen? A game finally finished? A game finally released finish? That's weird.
Okay, hold on. It's saying that we're having some horrible feedback that sounds like we're all underwater. Can anybody check the stream to see if we sound like we're underwater?
Checking now.
I don't think it's my mic, but
check 1 2 3.
Check.
Could be me.
I'm hearing everybody clearly.
Check.
Yeah, I'm hearing everybody clearly as well.
It's clear for me. It's
Hey,
clean.
Can I say
Good here as
something?
well.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think the current AAA game industry is very, very anti-consumer. And
Yeah, for
Hello
sure.
Games and
Yeah.
Sean Murray are doing their absolute best to be pro.
They're
and that is
saints.
what I'm very proud
They're
of them
saints.
for.
All right.
Hey,
Like, they're not getting corrupted. They're not getting corrupted. Everybody, like even Dice, Battlefield was my baby. I was Battlefield Bad Company. I was 12th in the world that game. I don't even play Battlefield anymore. Like, they got corrupted by EA so bad. Like, I can't play that game anymore. Like, it's refreshing to see Hello Games be like, no, like, we're not gonna do that route. We're not gonna go that route. We're not gonna do microtransactions. We're not gonna do like any of that. Like, it feels good. Like, it's freedom,
Yeah.
Well, and I'm just going to throw this out there. Social media is kind of like a double-edged sword, man, when it comes to stuff like this. Because, I come from old school. Dude, I don't want to show my age, but I had the very first Pong console game, man. Hey,
You're showing it. You're showing it.
Atari 2600 right here. No DLC.
There you go.
But
I'm 27. I'm getting old too. So
I would tell you back
Yeah.
then, we were at the mercy of the developer. We didn't have social media. We didn't have a platform. When we bought it, we purchased it in the hope to God that it was cool enough to play. And
then that was your perception of that game, if it was good or not.
Correct.
Like, you didn't have all these people like saying it's good or bad. Like, you get that game, you get Bubsy or something. You're like, yo, yeah, that game is sick. Like, that was the best time in gaming. Because it was your opinion. That's all that mattered. That's what carried weight.
And so now we feed into the social media, which is great because we get some
You get to learn,
and some
easily.
news. We get some news and some insight from the developer, and we have something to look forward to. But at the same time, there's other people out there that like to create hate and discontent. And then the developers, like these AAA titles like EA, they feed into it too, and they tell you, oh, well, we're doing this, or we're doing this behind the scenes, and it might not be exactly what they're really selling you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oblivion has a good comment. He said maybe 20 games have been good in the last 10 years. That is such a great comment.
And sad comment.
And how many can you name off the bat?
Sad, but very
The first
true.
thing I name off the bat is God of War. Like, what's the best game that came out within the last 2 years? The best game.
I love the Uncharted series. I thought the Uncharted series was really
Another one, like, again, like, there's one, like, all right, yeah. We got
Who's trying to speak?
Devil May Cry 5 has also been an amazing
Oh, yeah, it
launch.
just came out, yeah.
Yeah, it got censored too.
It is really
thanks, Sony.
well optimized.
I just
and all
found the
that.
most depressing looking system in No Man's Sky I've ever seen.
But even at launch with No Man's Sky, I was never disappointed in this. I've loved it and have been a fan of it since day one, and I never really felt like I was ever lied to. When I watch a lot of the press conferences and like the E3 that's coming up and stuff, they're going to come out there on stage and they're going to sell to you. They want you to buy their game. Any developer that's in it for business would be stupid not to, right?
Yeah.
And as a consumer, we should want to buy their game. But I'll let them tell me what they want. I'll make up my own decision on whether I'm going to purchase it. I'm not going to feed into what they're telling me. When I buy a game, I'm either going to like it or there's a chance I dislike it. But if there's elements of the game that I guess what I'm trying to say is that they can promise you the world, but at the end of the day, you don't really want to believe everything that they're telling you. You're only going to get what you're going to get. It's going to be true only when you play the game.
Here's the important thing. I'm going to play a clip for you guys on Discord. You're not going to be able to hear it, but I use this a lot of time when people, they talk about I don't understand why we're still talking about this 3 years later. But on Twitter today, somebody was trying to tell me that they lied and stuff like this. But Sean Murray, before he started before he started going on the shows and talking about all these features and things like that, he went on GameSpot and he talked about how you could be a pirate and how you can join and upgrade yourself in factions and you know, talked about the faction standing and stuff like that. He's talking about all this stuff, and then he followed by saying, and I'm going to go ahead and play the clip right now.
And when we ship the game, not everything will be possible, but...
And when we ship the game, not everything will be possible.
This is a game I think we're going to be making for quite a while.
But this is a game we'll be making from quite a while.
Even after it comes out.
Even after it comes out. And right there, you know, everything he says falls in line with that one comment. Because he's talking about the entire project, the entire thing No Man's Sky should be. But again, you go back to that 2014 statement, it's not going to be done when we ship it, okay? But we're going to be working on it for a long time. So Hello Games never lied. I'm sick of hearing it 3 years later. If you're going to do it on my Twitter, then I'm just going to ban you. I'm not going to get into arguments anymore. I'm so sick of hearing about it. Are you really that hurt 3 years later?
Dude, if
I'm not the person you should be talking to. You need to go see a psychologist or a psychiatrist or something.
Or a
If
therapist.
you watch
At the end of the day,
holding
Hurry's just a
grudge.
14-year-old that just wants that game that he dreamed about, and he's making it. Like, he's making the game he wanted as a kid. Like, that's what he's doing.
Dude, during his GDC speech the other day, he said that whenever they started listening to the feedback, most of the negative complaints were coming from people who really hadn't spent any time with the game, and they were criticizing aspects of the game that had already been fixed.
Yeah,
that's how toxic people are.
I just hate how you see Destiny bomb, but then they still have a fan base. But then you see No Man's Sky. They sank to the bottom of the sea, right? And they rose themselves back up, and they still have people that are saying, "Oh, that game is trash." No, it isn't. This game is good. They made it good. You need to play the. If you don't play the game, you're retarded. Like I tell the kids, like, yeah, you're dumb as shit. Like, yeah, you're dumb. If you don't play, when was the last time you played this game? And they're like, you don't know what you're talking about. You're dumb.
Yeah. Hey, hold on. It's my fault, but we're feeding into this. It's my fault. We got onto this topic. We shouldn't be on this topic. You know, it's been 3 years. So
that's just disclosure. I tell my real life friends that I'm like, yo, you're dumb. You're dumb.
Anyway, guys. It is getting late. It's past midnight for me.
Yeah, we're probably going to have to close it down. Thank you so much, Snow Obsidian. So he's probably wanting to go to bed or something.
It's late, my friend. It's 12 after. It's like 20 after.
I will say. Wait, where are you from, Snow? Dude, I'm on the same. You're on the East
Coast of USA.
I'm on East Coast. Yes, same. Yo, we're like twins. What's going on? It's weird. Moving on.
Did you guys just become best friends?
We're best friends. We have so much room for activities and karate.
Oh boy. Exchange Discord ads later.
I don't know how to do that. I'm just impregnant with my karate.
Nitloff, if you are my twin, then how come you can't beat me in the Galactic Thunderdome?
Dude, I swear to God, I will karate chop you in the neck.
Oh.
I will karate chop you. This kid's looking for a new rival, dude. I'll show him a new rival. Dude.
I'll stream it. You want to fight him?
We got arenas.
I'll stream it.
You know what?
We got arenas.
I picked the arena.
Panda does have arenas.
I want to see. I want to see that rematch. Panda's doing PvP as well, so go check him out. But I want to see you guys fight in the Thunderdome.
Well, I didn't see a PvP in a while. How is he still the champion? He's not even that good.
Nobody wants to challenge him except for like Panda.
Wow. Oh my God, Panda! Can you please beat that boy's?
Cobra.
Yeah.
Cobra, I will send you some portal locations to some arenas. We have got to schedule this battle. This has got to go down. Somebody has got to take down Snow Obsidian.
I agree. He's the only person in any gaming community that can say, I'm the best and nobody challenges him. Like, what the hell? Mm-hmm. How's that work?
How's that happen? Like, how do we let him win, you know? Who's this guy? Yo, Snow! I don't know. Am I allowed to curse?
It's late. Yeah, go ahead.
No, fuck you. Woo! We gotta get something going. Yo, Snow, you ain't shit, bud.
Dude,
I've got to see this fight. I got to see this fight.
I hope you're intimidated, dude.
Snow Obsidian is so cold.
Yeah.
He's so cold that he actually.
He has to be measured in Kelvin. I know. I ain't scared of him.
A guy built.
Let him finish.
Let me finish. A guy built a PvP guy built a PvP arena in the game. Snow came for a visit, killed him 3 times in his own arena.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I mean, Snow's where it's at. I don't know how he does it. But we gotta go ahead to end the stream. Let's get together. Snow, get together with me. Panda, let's stream something. Let's stream some Thunderdome, or let's stream from your arena or something like that. Let's get some rowdiness up with this, man. This is could be like No Man's Sky WWE.
You know, I'm going to quote one of my speak pipes that I said that I made for a Panda for his promotional video. Here goes. So let's bring some guts, bring some glory, and let's bring on the battle.
But you got to say it like you're not kidding. Do it one more time.
With enthusiasm.
A little bit of a roast.
One more time, Snow. Say it like you mean it.
Bring some guts, bring some glory, and let's bring on the battle.
I wouldn't be afraid. That's not scary.
One more time. One
more
more
time.
time.
You got to make it. Come on.
Come on.
Put some emotion in there.
Get girthy with it, you know?
Come on.
Yeah.
Method act.
It's time for battle, you scum! Bring
There you
it!
go. Like that.
There you go.
Come on, Snow.
Come on, get more pissed. Do something. Like, yo, I stole your lunch in high school. What are you going to do about it? Let's go.
Come on, you punks. Bring some guts.
I'm not feeling it.
Act like somebody took your My Little Pony collection.
Add some drums. Add some drums.
I gotta go. I can't keep
I
this.
lit it on fire. What are you gonna do about it? Let me hear it. I want to hear it in your voice. I stomped on him too.
He attacked your freighter and stole on me too.
Destroyed it.
This has descended into chaos.
He removed the stuffing out of your dolls. Snow?
Oh, yeah? Yeah, I'm still here. I'm still here.
He took the stuffing out of your
I
dolls.
took your little dolls. I took your dolls. You little girly dolls.
I took your copy of No Man's Sky.
I stomped on them.
Oh, there you go. That's a fun. Okay, we gotta stop. This is okay for everyone who's listening.
This is brutal.
Snow Obsidian is like a brother to me, right? And
no one's killed
He's
him.
been here for a while. I've been here too. I just wasn't on the stream.
Snow Obsidian, I'm trying to say this with a straight face. He's a brony, right? And
he is.
He likes to tell people that he's bronies because it freaks people out. The guy will go on camera and he'll pet a stuffed animal in front of me to freak me out, right?
Yeah,
okay. So
me, the animal, I just ripped apart and lit on
he
fire.
teases us or anybody else with being uncomfortable as much as we tease him. So. Do you consent to the brony talk?
Sorry, what?
Do you consent to the brony talk?
Let's just say I'm not as much of a brony as I have been.
Oh,
He's betrayed the brony army, dude.
Are you in recovery?
Let's just say that the stuffed animal situation, in your case, has gotten worse.
What? What do you mean worse?
That's not
okay.
good.
I don't want to hear no more. No more. Stop it, peaceful gamer. Don't say that. Look, do not call us cobronis. Don't stop, peaceful. All right, we're ending the stream now because we're just destroying the bridge.
Cancel.
Yep, probably
What?
a good idea.
Code red.
What?
Saboteur. He's a saboteur. I tell you that right now.
Yeah, I like how you say that. A saboteur.
Saboteur.
All right, we're gone. Okay, guys, thank you so much for calling into the show. You guys have been wonderful guests, amazing guests.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for calling in. A lot of great ideas, speculation. What was that? I don't know what that was. Sounded like a Corvax. Thank you guys for coming out to the show tonight and chatting away. And I will do this again if there's new news, we'll come online right away if I'm awake. And then he said he went full furry. Oh no.
Oh no.
No.
Yo, ban him. Full ban right now. I'd be ban that dude.
See, I don't know what that means.
What does that even mean?
I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. I don't. Let's stop talking about things we don't know anything about. Right?
Let's just get out of here. Let's get out.
All right. Bye, everybody. Love you guys. I will see you all in the next video.
Bye.
Take care,
everyone. Bye, Cobra.
Bye, everybody. Bye, Panda.
That's it.
Bye, everybody. Oh my gosh. Vera.